Welcome, boys and girls. Costin here with Balthasar, Gelt, Intel War Warhammer 3. Before I actually do start this entire Costin here, I do need to check it. It's gonna be an HDR thing, so if you are seeing a couple of brightness settings that are a bit weird, know that it's because of the HDR aspect. I play in HDR, I don't do SDR streaming. That's just how these things go. I know some people have that. My advice is watch it on Brave or something else if that's a problem. By the way, so here's how I'm going to play. This is legendary, very hard difficulty. Endgame scenarios turned off because they don't mean anything. All of the unusual locations turned on. Autosave location, let's put it, let's leave it to 5 turns. Autosave to cloud, not needed. 20 minutes. Advisor frequency set to minimal because that's just how we go. Battle difficulty, let me go over that specific. AI stand modifier set to max. However, I am using an auto-resolve mod. The way the stream is going to work is I do intend to play certain battles. Okay. I do intend to only play certain battles in this campaign, and the reason I intend to only play certain battles in this campaign is because certain battles in a campaign in Warhammer 3 are just not worth fighting. You don't learn anything from those battles. You don't become a better player. You don't learn how to actually play things. Instead, you learn the wrong lessons. And that's kind of the case with Balthasar Gelt's campaign. By the way, it's spring over here in Romania, seasonal allergies, all that shebang. So, yeah. I'm currently wearing a mask because dust really is because dust is in the air, pollen is in there, so it's like it's fun. Anyway, when we start a campaign as Gelt, what you want to do, obviously, get the captain in there, start researching things. But what do you want to research? Well, first thing is you want to use transmutation in order to get the extra bit of gold right there, and start getting Empire State Troopers. The kind of State Troopers that you want to get, there's all kinds of types. But what you really want is Eldred's Guards, Spears of the Empire, because Eldred's Guards are always going to be very, very effective at the kind of situation. This battle, for instance, is not worth playing. You learn nothing. These peasants and horsemen and all that, they fold very easily. What I want here is experience, because that's the thing that you actually need in a campaign like this. We're going to get Route Marcher for extra campaign movement range. We're going to get training. I don't need extra money right now, because we could do a bunch of region trading. Don't worry, we'll certainly do a bunch of region trading. But let's loot and occupy, because I want to trigger a rebellion there, and then we're going to demand supplies to get it to tier 2. So that repairs it very quickly. In terms of heroes, we do want to get the Warrior Priest for the sake of casualty replenishment, and we want to get the Engineer. Unit-wise, I don't care about any kind of unit recruitment right now, so we're just going to end that. Gonna get Inspiring Presence, as I said. And we're gonna get Blade Master. I think I'm going to get an extra mage, but which one? I'm going to get the Celestial. No, forget the Celestial Wizard. Let's just get the Grey Wizard. The reason you want to get the Grey Wizard is not because of the Grey Wizard magic itself, but because the Grey Wizard gives you a certain level of power. Specifically, with the Grey Wizard, you do get mass concealment unlocked, so that's the reason you want to get that. So that's the reason I'm not going to hard recruit units that I could, which, by the way, would be a very easy thing for me to do. So that's the research, that's the thing that I'm going to be doing as Gelt. We go through the faction turns. We do have the ability of going through some diplomacy changes, and we're going to do so on turn 2, not turn 1, because turn 1 is always static. Turn 2 is where you look at variables and decide, okay, which are the factions which ones are the ones that might have faction potential unlocked. So that's the point. We obviously declare war on the Blue Vipers because we want that trade agreement. We go to him, we get the trade agreement with Xiao Ming. And we also declare war on the Skaven right here to get Gorst a bit off our backs. Alright. Research-wise, we're going to get... Clergy of Sigmar would be a good option because it would give us another warrior priest, and I think I'm actually going to go for that one, really, at this point. Okay, so that is turn 2, and we're going to lay an ambush formation right here. I hope I can use... Yes, I can, and we're going to do that right now. That gives me the army structure in order to be able to get in order to be able to get them rolling towards me. Because one of the things to be said about the Burning Wind nomads is you want them to attack you, because if they do attack you, then that means you can get extra post-battle loot through a field battle that would be incredibly beneficial in your campaign. So, alright, we take the village of the Tigermen. We still don't recruit anything. Maybe some mortars if we really wanted to, but you don't need to worry about that. We destroy that building because it's not relevant. Actually, no, we won't repair shit. We'll just get the mortars because they'll be useful later on. Skill line wise, we get... Honestly, maybe Leader of Renown. No. I don't need battle benefits right here, so... Gunnery units or melee units. Let's go with Hardened Blades. Okay. And this is the point we'll start looking at getting a Celestial Wizard, because that can replenish all of my campaign movement range. I could have started with one. And we can delay that a bit further as well. Okay. Now, the reason I don't want a rebellion right there... Okay, we got a rebellion right there. But again, auto-resolve mod does help with that particular situation. So it's not going to be a problem. Though, of course, in a regular campaign, the point of this video is not for me to show you how to play Gelt in the best, most efficient way possible. The point of this video is to highlight certain things about when things matter and when they don't. So for instance, over there, that was a mistake. Okay, I own it, I resolve it. How do I resolve it? If you're going to face a rebellion like that, that might create certain problems. The solution is actually very, very simple, boys and girls. When you're playing the game, you reload the save, and no, I know some people are going to be like, oh, that save's coming. We all make mistakes, we all do things that we shouldn't, and you just go over here, and in this case, we get a noble. And we get the noble because that particular noble will be useful for us to deal with that specific rebellion that is going to happen. So the rebellion happens. In this case, it's not a vampire counts rebellion. Rebellions do depend a bit on corruption level. So if you've got vampire counts corruption, or if you've got a level of... If you don't have corruption and it's just yours, then yeah, no problem. So in this case, yeah, victory, we get the treasury, we dismiss the ogres, and we get that casualty replenishment sorted out. Or rather, we dismiss some of the ogres, and we start moving towards Gorst with him. Throne of Elemental Winds, and we also move Gelt right here. We will face another rebellion, by the way. But this time, it will be in the capital. The way these things work is when you trigger a specific rebellion, It's either in what the game considers to be your provincial capital, so in this case Throne of Elemental Winds, because it's also my empire capital, or it's going to be in another specific settlement. We get Strong, and then we dismiss him. We get Hockland Scopes, we dismiss him, we dismiss the gunnery range because we don't need it. We keep researching that right there, and we actually force march our way towards this specific settlement. That would create a vulnerability point because the AI does like to try and strike you when you're in force march. So if so the way the AI works in Warhammer 3, and this should be stated clearly, just mask off for a second. The way the AI functions in Warhammer 3 is always it will try and attack you where you're most vulnerable. Now, a lot of people get annoyed by this particular behavior because they say, well, you know, I have my army in this position, why is the AI attacking me there? Because you let them. You created that specific vulnerability point, and the AI is exploiting that point against you. Okay, what do we get over here? We start getting witch hunters. We don't worry too much about the warrior priest. Whatever. That was just a bunch of arcane essays. Xiao Ming does not matter in this context, nor does Gelt. We can get a peace agreement with them, and with others as well, potentially. But I'm not really too concerned about that at all. Really, like, genuinely, in any way, shape, or form, am I concerned about that. We get Searing Doom because we need that spell. That's how you would do it. You would also buff up a bit of magic. Pistol Core is useful for your range units, but Gelt's power is magic. Okay, we also, over here, we don't get any of that. We get local recruitment capacity because we're about to face a rebellion. So we want that to happen. And we also get more transmutation. And we make sure we get that wizard. Right there. No problem. Make sure we get harmonic convergence. We could keep pursuing over here various things. I think I'm also going to get a Life Wizard with all the stuff that I've gathered. And the reason we're going to get the Life Wizard is because we also, or Jade Wizard, apologies, is because we want to ensure that we have the army necessary for the things we are going to be dealing with. We go to Greases, we declare war on Carcassonne. Carcassonne is not going to be a problem, so to speak. We get the peace agreement right here with the nomads. Next turn, but they're still at war with Xiao Ming, so they're going to still be a particular problem. If you want some extra cash in this situation, you can just declare war on the Jade Custodians. Then wait for them to be wiped out, or for them to be willing to accept a peace agreement. Sometimes you gotta give the AI some time in order to accept a peace agreement. So that's one of the things. We could go with the whole plethora of wizards. In this particular case, I'm just going to get Swords of the Empire, or no, Marksmen, no, forget Marksmen, Machines of the Empire, Riders of the Empire, Knights of the Empire. None of the, apologies, none of these are especially useful, but Marksman of the Empire is probably the best bet. Worth remembering that we do have transmutation available for the sake of various things, and so we can use transmutation in order every 3 turns to recover any kind of treasury impact that we may have. Now, at this point, I could go after the Burning Wind nomads very, very quickly and very efficiently and just go and wipe them out. There's also that Cathane Caravan that I do intend to wipe out, because why the hell not? But you do want, as Gelt, to kind of stop here. The Kala and Xiao Ming will deal with the Burning Wind nomads, so you don't have to worry too much about their situation. So here's how we do it. We force march back here, and we also use the Electrocount State Troopers in order to handle certain other things. We can get more wizards, but at this point that's not necessary, and we could keep researching Clergy of Sigmar. We get these 2 units, and that's maybe not enough in this particular case to defeat this this army, but it is enough to get a vision with them, declare war on the Beastmen, though we could also wait with regards to that specific argument. So we're just going to declare war on Sons of the Mountain, get a bit of money. They'll accept a peace agreement. You can go wipe Greases if you want at this particular point. Now, we have a certain level with Gelt, and I'm just going to use Celestial Scrying to restore all of his movement range right here and get that level of control that we do desire. And that's the reason, by the way, I'm going to deal with the caravan. Again, emphasis should be said, this campaign is not exactly how you do it. This battle, for instance, you know, you should fight manually, but it is winnable. You just gotta worry about the Logma riders and all that. Keep in mind, whenever you do that, whenever you switch battle difficulties like that, you are creating a bit of a problem for yourself with regards to AI, because it's going to affect AI behavior in a very, very negative way. Anyway, so we now, with Gelt in tow, we now get rid of some... Well, we don't really, because we do need the Lord for something else. Anyway, so, just going to keep this at max. Again, if people want me to fight the battle, super chats are available and all that kind of stuff. That's not really a problem. We got 4 turns right there. In that situation, we are slowly earning back our money, but we'll find out how we do that. The Burning Nomads, the Burning Wind Nomads also have a good, decent amount of money. So I don't actually want them to be wiped out too quickly. I want them to survive long enough that they are capable, that they're giving me the time. Because when they get wiped out, this is what happens. We are going to deliberately create a raiding stance situation right here in order to draw this out. And now we go to these guys and we sell Fu Hong to them, drain them for money and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we only get Fu Hong. That will create a rebellion point in this affair. And we get a non-aggression pact, because why the heck not? We also want to create good conditions for Xiao Ming to be able to take advantage of certain things. Right, so that's one thing. Gelt stays as he is in this situation. We get full armor. Armor is very important, but so is melee defense, by the way. I would probably say melee defense would have been a better choice. Thunderbolt spell, Life Bloom spell. You do have Awakening of the Wood as default right there. Alright, end the turn. Alright, so end the turn, wait for the AI to make its moves. Sometimes waiting is a good thing. Sometimes you want to go fast. And when you understand the balance of the game, when you understand how the game is meant to be played and you play it accordingly, you will end up in a really good situation. So now I don't need to worry too much about that. We do have that rebellion point that's going to be triggered very quickly. We move Gelt just enough in range right here that we cause some havoc. And we see if Xiao Ming is willing to do anything about these guys. Peace agreement to Karakazorn. That's how it's done. You don't want to go too fast or too slow. You just want to match the proper balancing of the game as is. And sometimes that means going fast. Sometimes that means going slow. You know, this is the problem that I do have with certain people. Like, some people do go way too slow or way too fast. And the solution to these kind of things is always a balance between those two. We move Gelt back, we get the troops, we get the Witch Hunter, and we go after Gorst. Okay. And as you might see, is a perfect 20-unit army balance right there. We just moved the swordsman right from one army to another. Do I want another rebellion? Honestly, I actually don't, but we do want to sell that structure. We do want to wait for more things to happen. The heroes actually don't matter at this point. They're not really going to add much. The only hero that really has any value is really the warrior priest for casualty replenishment, if that is necessary. It's always worth checking the electric count state troopers in order to see what the cooldown periods are. Am I staying in Cafe or am I returning to the Empire? I am going to return to the Empire when these guys are gonna get wiped out. They definitely will get wiped out. That is not a discussion. If I just use Toggle Fog of War to just showcase certain things, Yao Ming is going to take a sweet time. But once he wipes out the faction here in the Warpstone Desert, he's always going to go after these guys. That is the systemic situation that occurs in Yao Ming's campaign. Well, systemic is maybe a bit fancy word for saying he's going to blow them the fuck up. And if he doesn't blow them the hell up, Dekala definitely will. Now, my sincere hope in this situation is that it is going to be Xiao Ming that does it first, because if it's not Xiao Ming that does it first, then it is going to be Dekala, and that's going to create its own issues. But that's the thing. You can't always predict AI behavioral moves. Sometimes you just gotta let the AI do its own thing, and sometimes the AI does do a lot of stupid things in a campaign. Now,
a quest.
We do have a quest battle, and we're going to take advantage of that specific quest battle. What do I want to recruit things here? Well, realistically, there's nothing of genuine value that I can recruit here, except I want to get the cavalry building chain in order to get Bruckner. And the reason I want to get Bruckner is because, let's see if she's willing. No. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he's still marching around the desert, and so we are just going to go do that particular quest battle without the Witch Hunter, but we are just going to do Cloak of Molten Metal. Now, the Cloak of Molten Metal quest battle is a very easy one. You just corner camp in this one. You survive at this army with absolutely decimated. You might take some casualties if you're not careful. That's the thing. You gotta tread carefully. Now, one of the things I do want to do is use restoration. That's the point of Gelt's specific campaign mechanics, because you can, like, for instance, force march right here, and do certain things in that specific way. We got one turn until Clergy of Sigmar is over. So we just wait for that turn and we do more transmutation in order to get more money. Because it's always good to have a good chunk of money. In this case, I don't really need an army as much as I need Electric Count State Troopers. So yeah, I'll spare the Ogre Mercenaries unless... well... he's probably on the verge of declaring war, and I have money to spare. It's not a good idea to have too much money saved up in the bank, because yes, it does give you the opportunity to buy a lot of different things, but it also kind of makes you a target for the AI, because the AI will see that you have a lot of money, and what it will do is it will demand that you give up some of that money if you're not careful about it. That's the other part of the equation in that specific situation, circumstance, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so in turn... Damn, I got some coffee without no sugar. That's on me. Well, it's always best. So, here's what I'm going to do. I could fight this battle as is. I'd obviously win it, but it's just better in this situation to, well, use restoration. But I don't have enough for restoration, so we're just going to do it. Normally, the way you'd fight a battle like this is you would use restoration before the battle, or you'd keep the targets that you have in said army, you would keep them away from any damage. So the units that are low HP, you keep them away, you keep them hidden, woods, all that kind of stuff. That's the way you would do these kind of things. Alright, loot and occupy because we need the money. And then we can see if we can use restoration. Still not enough. We're on the cusp of it, but we just don't have enough for it. We can use Machines of the Empire, Riders of the Empire, Everlasting Light. We do need Knights, though. And that's kind of going to be a big point in that discussion. The reason we do need Knights is because... well, we need two things, really, and we need them both at the same time, so I'm going to have to delay that a bit. We do need this specific building, but we need tier 3 right there, unfortunately. We don't have enough growth. That's going to be nasty. So, let's get rid of that economic building. Let's get rid of this one. We're going to go full on for growth, because we don't need the wizard right there. Sorry, the warrior priest. We keep this building, we get another growth building, and we start working on it. Obviously, we all make mistakes, boys and girls, and that's the thing I would highlight about content creators. If you're looking at a content creator to never make a mistake in their lives, that content creator is a big fat fucking liar. Or he's someone who's just pretending he doesn't make mistakes. Like, I shouldn't have sold the provincial capital over there, for instance. Anyway, Hammer, Sigmar, Safeguard. So no one's perfect, not even me, quote unquote. And you know what? I'm gonna say it outright. Like, that's the thing that is kind of a problem when people put others on pedestals. Like, when you look at Legend of Total War, in that kind of situation, I've set the goal of super chats, by the way, if anyone's interested in this respect. Once we get back to the Empire, yeah, just a couple of super chats, whatever you guys want to go. Now, here's the thing that people make, the mistake that a lot of people make with regards to content creators. They put them on pedestals and see in them whatever they want to see. And that's always been the biggest mistake that people made with Legend. I'm not saying that Legend was a saint. God knows, and he knows that he was not. But this is where the problem becomes kind of a bit abhorrent. In this case, you know, I would need cavalry, really. And where do I stand on transmutation? 2 turns. I should be fine. Right on the very cusp, right on the very edge, just enough. We don't actually need to get that tier 2 because we're not going to get that tier 2. Where is Yao Ming? So is he actually going to attack them? Right, he's still dealing with the Warpstone Desert. And this is the thing, when you affect battle difficulty, when you change it, you change that entire AI behavior. Okay, so in this case, we can go declare war on the Jiangxi rebels, pay a bit of money, but I could also wait an extra turn because I'm not going to be attacked in that specific location at the moment. Just need a moment, catch my breath. We deal with Gorst, not a problem. Now, you might ask where Gorst is. Well, he's in the provincial capital in Noblar country, so we gotta be careful because Gorst's army is quite capable of surviving Gelt's bullshit. That's the second thing worth pointing out over here. There are certainly some legendary lords that are very, very damn good at dealing with your bullshit and then giving you back some. Lord of the Sea. I love it. Lord of the Sea. Okay, so over here we go with growth in both of these buildings. And we could get a peace agreement with these guys so they leave us the fuck alone. Declare war on the vampire counts. Declare war on the puppets of mischief. Village is one of those annoying little shits that needs a significant level of slapping around. We can also declare war on the scaling with Midland and Confederate Midland from a distance due to the quest battle that we have right there with Gelt. That's one of the advantages that does occur here. Research-wise, forget Colleges of Archive, that's bullshit. Get Imperial Architects, it's a much better one. Or you can get State Troop Standards, because one of the problems of the Empire is the leadership and durability of infantry. So over here, we actually don't need any units. We just need time, mercenaries, everything sorted out. So yeah, I know I'm losing money with this particular army. Actually, let's just go trigger a rebellion in this case, because it is going to be triggered in the provincial, quote-unquote, provincial capital that I supposedly have. Is there anyone that I do have that we could use in that case? Not yet. Anyway, so right here, we're fine, we're solid, we're stable. Gorst may try and force march here against me. Again, you can't always predict the behavioral patterns of the AI, because the AI will always do what it does. But in this case, it might decide to attack Gelt. In this case, it tried to attack me. Then it saw what army I had, and then it's like, no. That is precisely, by the way, the behavior that occurred right there. Like, the AI was like, okay, I really want to attack this guy, but if I do attack him, he's going to blow me to smithereens. So let's not do that. So I'm just buying myself time over here with the Temple of Elemental Winds. Now, why do I care so much about that bullshit temple? The reason I care so much about the bullshit temple is because the bullshit temple gives me a level of, let's call it power. Yeah. Right, so this battle. I know you guys think, oh, this is an easy one. Believe it or not, this might be the only battle so far in this entire campaign that has any actual intrinsic value in being fought. Because it's 2 armies versus 1. And it's the kind of battle that you actually learn from. Because how do you defeat 2 armies, 1 reinforcing you? Now, each of these armies seems weak, but remember, we have heroes, we don't have a lot of units, our artillery is vulnerable. So we need to tread very damn carefully. There's 2 choices here on how we deal with this, and I'm going to show you those choices in just a second. Choice number 1 is we wait for the reinforcements to spawn, and then we bombard the heck out of these guys in the meantime. That's choice number 1. Choice number 2 is we advance. I'm going to choose neither. Because that's just who I am. I'm going to put my cavalry in an ambush position. I'm going to put my artillery into a position where it starts dominating the crap out of here. My infantry here has one job, to protect my flank. My cav is a response force in order to deal with things. My melee heroes over here are meant, and the engineer are meant to protect right there. And the wizards are going to be in the front line, because Gelt's wizards are pretty damn durable, pretty damn strong, and quite capable. Witch Hunter, he kind of doesn't matter. Witch Hunter has no role whatsoever except the following. He's there to make sure we get the post-battle loot higher. So let's fight this battle, and we are just going to send Gelt directly against the enemy lord. The biggest threat against the vampire counts are the Fellbats and Direwolves early on in a campaign battle situation. So we just wait. We can speed it up. Speed does not really matter in this case, right? So we just wait. We set it up. And as you can see, Direwolves are happening. That's also happening. That's the danger point right there. Because Fellbats and Direwolves do make for a nasty combination. That does become a problem. Thankfully, this is where Gelt comes in. He has the ability of setting things up in such a way. We pull back the range, the gunnery units, right, in this situation, and then we move all of our wizards directly in melee, including Gelt. Cavalry is about to charge, and we charge directly right into it. Damage is being taken right now. That's the reason why I am going to redeploy my guys. There is going to be a bit of a battle right here. Reinforcements are coming in. And it is going to start getting bloody very quickly over here, boys and girls, because yes, this is an actual army of foes that needs to be dealt with. I need to withdraw one of my cavalry units in this situation and send a witch hunter to get the fell bats off my back. Then ensure that my engineer is ready and willing to deal with those skeletal warriors that are coming on that side. Meanwhile, we do a bit of an explosion. We don't have a lot of winds of magic in this situation. That's the risk we set up over here. Again, I emphasize this video is not meant to be a perfect match of how you should play a battle. I'm looking to explain things for people watching them. So in this case, the way, like, let me give you the idea of what I should have done. Just set up my entire army in the corner right there, blow them up to smithereens. I'm looking to give you guys an explanation on how these things are being played. So, but now let me exemplify that with an actual real strategy that easily wins you this battle. But it is important to have these lessons of failure, because if you just copy and paste what I'm doing, you don't learn anything. And that's kind of the big point that I'm trying to draw here. Do not copy paste what people are doing. Find your own way of winning that battle. So, I'm still going to fight and win this battle, because some people are always going to be like, he's just quitting and using auto-resolve because he lost the battle. No. I'm looking to showcase different ways of solving a specific problem instead of just giving you the easy win. If you look at content creators as an easy win that always fucking work, then you're not really understanding how content creators do function. So here's the simple fucking easy path to win this battle. You deploy your entire artillery line over here. You deploy the range units in front. That just a bit in front. You deploy your entire infantry screen right here. You deploy all of your heroes on this side. You put your cavalry over here to protect your flank. And then the entire enemy army crumbles into dust within a couple of seconds, because that's how these things do work, if you understand the game. The way I played the battle was earlier was making it needlessly complicated. And remember, YouTubers do make mistakes as well, so yes, I was making a mistake. Was it deliberate? Was I like, was he actually just screwing around with us? Again, lads, it's never that simple, and it's far harder than you might believe to both record something and also play something at the same time. But yeah, that's the simple way. As you can see, the artillery, you want to set it up in guard mode, and you want to start throwing Hellstorm rocket batteries into the massive skeletal warriors. Gelt does have the issue where he doesn't work properly within the confines of the AI, and we are going to send our captain right here and on our warrior priest into the middle of the enemy army. This will do two things at the same time. One, it will mean that they're not in range of actually using their spells against my units. Always with units, make sure you toggle guard mode, so I'm going to enable H, and we're going to target the fell bats. Yeah, I know, problem solving is always something, but here's the thing I would like to highlight for people that are watching here. I don't need to try problem solve the game, because I already know how to play the game. The thing that I'm here for when you guys are watching me is I'm here to teach you how to play the game, and also give feedback to Creative Assembly, because Creative Assembly does a lot of stupid shit on a regular basis. Let's not twist words on that subject. Right, so with that sorted out, we start turning the cannons. Make sure guard mode is always enabled right there. We can use Gelt to deal with various things. Dire wolves are going to get sent there. One of the things I would like to highlight for people, we're going to move one of the mortars in that situation. One of the things I would like to highlight for people that's very important. Some people believe very firmly that they need to fight every manual battle or they will not learn the game. I call that nonsense. I think the decision of whether or not you fight a battle is ultimately your own personal choice. And if you look at a content creator, you complain that, oh, he's just auto-resolving every battle. That's your problem, not mine. Like, okay, so these two are, they've almost killed one particular lord. We do have limited winds of magic, so we're going to need to withdraw over here. We do have that engineer coming in, and we are going to charge with our cavalry. Now, as for the Hellstorms, you always want to ensure the Hellstorms are firing at a distant location so that they don't accidentally cause certain, you know, friendly fire bullshit. And in this case, the distant location is the one that my guys are trying to kill, because Hellstorms do not do good single target damage. They do a lot of they do a lot of damage in an area, and that's precisely what we do need. The damage in an area. We want to get those skeletal warriors sorted out. We want to make sure that those Hellstorms are doing things as they probably should. Again, I'm juggling a lot of hats at the moment, both explaining a guide, both fighting a battle, and also sorting out the complex army situation at the same time. Sometimes I do need time, and that's the reason this looks messy, because that's the thing people don't understand. Both speaking and doing this kind of stuff at the same time is a complicated affair. Really, the solution to a problem like this is always going to be simple. You need to eliminate the army leaders. So if you actually wanted the simplest solution, I just take my entire army of heroes and just charge their enemy lords and kill them as quickly as possible. Vampire Count's armies always survive best the longer you fight against them in a specific scenario. If you cannot eliminate their army leaders quickly enough, you are going to be fighting this kind of battle of attrition. And that's always something that does end up occurring every single fucking time. Now, we try and get Gelt, make sure I clear a path, as you can see. Now, you're wondering, wait, did he build a script of a battle, how he's going to fight? No, I'm literally playing this battle dynamically in real time, and it's not necessarily going the way I want it to, but it is winnable. And my point is creating conditions in order to win this battle. My ranged units right here are not necessarily shooting because they're not in a good position. So I'm just going to reposition them. And also get this wizard into a position. My celestial wizard right here has also taken a dump of damage. Okay, we did sort that out. They're doing a ton of freaking damage. We turn everyone around, and we pulled it back to cavalry so our Hellstorms don't kill them. We pull back the cavalry right here, and we start doing some cycle charges. I can't pull back all of the cavalry, but I can pull back the Knights of the Empire Knights, who are the ones that have the charge damage. And doing so creates conditions where I can do some cycle charging on a local level without hitting my own guys. This isn't amateur hour. Like, this is the thing that always is annoying about people that watch me. It's like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. I always knew what I was doing. It's just like people always assume, oh, he's gonna do this, then I do X, Y, and Z. I'm always pretty honest in the way I say this. When I say I have 4,000 hours and 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, people assume I'm lying or something like that. Well, there's your reality. Decisive victory. Thank you. Not heroic victory. And the reason we don't go heroic victory in these kind of scenarios is because heroic victory is bullshit. There's no such thing as a heroic victory in real life or in video games. A heroic victory is a victory you did not earn, really. It might seem you did, but a heroic victory is a kind of bullshit victory where it seems nice on paper, but in practice, it was not a learning experience. An actual decisive victory is an earned victory where you did go through everything that you should have. Now, I could obviously fight this battle. You might say, oh, that's easy. That would be harder than the one. No, it would not be harder than the last one. In fact, it would be significantly easier, especially as that's a reinforcement army, so we just auto-resolve this one. We occupy it so we don't trigger a rebellion. And then we do transmutation for a bit of extra money. And then pay attention to the cooldown of Celestial Scrying, because that's actually going to be important. Now, these two armies over here are not defeated. They still have forces over here. The way we sort that is with a little bit of trickery. So we recruit a lord. Doesn't matter what he is. We just recruit a lord. We recruit some units. And then we do a bit of nonsense. We do a bit of nonsense. So how would you resolve a situation like this? Well, the regiment's renown would be enough to slow them down. They've already taken significant casualties, and the units that I've recruited have been enough. Bear in mind, their lords may not be dead, but they're also low enough HP that I could easily completely destroy them. Something else I can do is go with a gold wizard and also get compelled corrosion. Or if we really want to go full on fucking meme tier, we get a bright wizard and we get a bloody magma storm on their hides and go nuclear warfare on their hides, because that's exactly what a bright wizard offers you. People think I'm bullshitting here with this kind of stuff. I am not. Now, I don't have enough because I recruited the gold wizard, but that's not even going to be a battle. That's not even going to be a discussion. It's just going to freaking happen. Because obviously, if I had not recruited the gold wizard, what about the army here? What is its purpose? Its purpose is to trigger a rebellion, so I deal with it and sort it out. If I lose the settlement, I kind of don't give a shit if I lose that settlement, to be honest with you. Alright, so we also have various other things to worry about. We do want to trigger that particular rebellion right there. We could sell that extra settlement. Maybe selling that extra settlement would be ideal, but we'll find out. It depends on the timing here, because what I really want to happen. Yeah. What I really do want to happen in this situation is I want to keep Gorst away from my freaking settlements. I want to lure the bastard into an ambush, and I want to annihilate him into an ambush. Bear in mind, I could have used the biggest trickery of them all and avoided both of those battles completely and completely annihilated every single unit Gorst had. Because there is a trick in all of this. Yes, let's go with Tribute. We do have another quest battle. Let's go with the explanation here, because there is an explanation. Remember what I said about Shadow Wizards. Remember what I mentioned, and remember how much I had. Say hello to mass concealment. If I had really given a shit about annihilating Gorst's army, and I do, all I needed to do was use mass concealment and get stock stance against my foes in order to just completely annihilate them in battle. I don't need to do that, because the simple truth of the matter is, okay, we're going to do restoration. The simple truth of the matter is, I have no actual need in this circumstance in order to do so. However, we do want to be a bit careful, because Gorst does have a secondary army right there, and he's recruiting more stuff. So we want to keep an eye on what he's doing right there. Pay attention. This is an important bit. Transmutation, Celestial Scrying is available next turn, so we have the ability, if we're careful, to just take both of these two settlements next turn. So that entire battle, boys and girls, in case you're wondering, was completely unnecessary, and even with the default level of auto-resolve on the highest difficulty, could have been completely avoided by using mass concealment. As I stated, this is not amateur hour, guys. This is actual reality of how we play the game. That was for your benefit, not mine. Again, I'm not doing a script. I'm playing a campaign that I chose because I know how this campaign works. It's messy, it's chaotic, it's pure Gelt. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the situation that we're dealing with, get a bit of trade, because we do need the money, and we are going to completely take over an entire goddamn province right there. In this case, the thing that you want is Imperial Architects. Alright, Greases, fuck you, you're dead. Yeah, you're absolutely dead. I don't even give a flying fuck about who you think you are, because you're just fucking dead. If you think I'm going to let you take Gorst out instead of me. We could talk about how you deal with Greases. I really don't care to talk about how to deal with Greases. Greases is just an annoying little shitbag that gets to exist simply because I allow him to exist. And that's the thing. His armies exist. He has a lot of power seemingly on the surface, but he's really an irrelevant piece of crap that thinks he's a lot bigger than he is. In reality, Greases is an irrelevancy of an S-tier fail that thinks he's a lot tougher shit than he is. We trigger mass concealment, but we don't even need mass concealment. It's always important to do these things in order. We trigger both mass concealment and celestial scrying. We go in stock stance and we blow the fuck out of the fat bastard over here who thinks he's tough shit because he got a lot of relevancy stuff. In this battle, I don't even need to explain, boys and girls, how this battle would go for Greases. He gets wiped out, he gets annihilated, and now he either gets to stand down or get stood down. That is the kind of consequential decision that has to be made every day. Now, he's of course, if I leave this particular army over here, he's of course going to march and take that territory back. And that is the part I really don't care about Greases' bullshit, because Greases' bullshit is just an annoying level. We will sort him out, no worries, but we will sort him out on our terms, not his. And it's always a bit funny when you're dealing with idiots who think they're much tougher than they are, because idiots who think they're much tougher than they are don't understand what real power looks like. It's the kind of power that fights a battle like the one I just did, and then looks at them, smirks, and just says, yeah, you think you're tough shit? I just wiped out 3 of your fucking armies in quick succession because I couldn't give a rat's ass about fighting them. And that's, again, without our resolve. And now I have everything over here unlocked, available, fully powerful, fully ready, fully charged, and some people think they're playing against a clown. They're not playing against the clown, gentlemen. And if you want to know what that means in real life terms, I'm just going to give you. Creative Assembly played a lot with content creator channels over the years. They got to find out very, very quickly and very decisively, in my part, what the fuck they actually messed with. Because that is the equivalent of what I did to Creative Assembly over the last couple of days. I went full on. Exactly what I just showed you here. I fought a hard battle against them, and then when they thought they had me cornered and thought I would just quit like Legend, I turned around and used all of the power I had accumulated to wipe the shit out of them. With receipts! Yeah. Because that's the thing, when you try and wipe out the content creator on YouTube, you create a certain specific pattern that is recognizable by tier 1 banking systems that aren't particularly pleased that you fucked around so hard. They don't get to face the considerable consequences of what they tried to do yet. But believe me, there will be consequences. Oh, you thought this was a joke. You thought that I was memeing around with certain YouTube posts. I just demonstrated in your very own game, Creative Assembly, what you fucked around with and who the fuck you are. You thought you were the purse holders. You thought you were Greases. You thought you would just show up, snatch victory from my jaws. But meanwhile, I had established the pattern of victory long before you even moved. And now the only reason you're not getting wiped out, though believe me, I could just go full on Regiments Renowned bullshit, is because I'm going to offer you one single chance to choose an armistice. If you refuse that armistice, Greases in game will absolutely accept it. If you refuse that armistice, you're not going to get me. You're going to get a lot fucking worse. Is that understood? I think it is understood. Good. We can stop fucking around and get to work because we got actual shit that needs to be sorted out. I'm going to deal with Gorst in just a second, right here. And then I'm going to take a bit of a break because some things need to be said. Some people still think they're dealing with amateur hour bullshit. Some people still need a hard lesson in what real power fucking looks like. The kind of things that fights one battle, loses it, reloads, fights a second one, almost struggles with it, wins it decisive victory, and then when Greases shows up to try and snatch the settlement, just looks at Greases and like, oh, you think you're clever? You really think you're clever? You're just gonna show up, take my shit, dominate the crap out of me, abuse certain things because I put in the work and effort and time and energy, and you're gonna take advantage. That's not how this works. Alright, transmutation, I'm gonna take a break on the intern. I'll let you sit with that for a moment. Oh yeah. By the way, for the record, what I yelled just earlier, no, I was not memeing around. That is actual reality. Creative Assembly did try and destroy my channel the same way they destroy Legend, because I would not follow their script. In doing so, they created logs that have been verified and publicly recorded by certain banking systems that are already moving. I'll let you sit with that for 5 minutes. Bear back. Right, I'm just going to end the turn and build a barracks right here because it needs to be built so I can convert it into a military alliance over here with Greece's. That's how you deal with certain people that are too greedy and think they want to take advantage of you. You give them a way out. Greece's AI is smart enough to take advantage of that, as is the YouTube Digital Services Act team, whose tickets I filed both in December when Creative Assembly tried to do a brigading attempt against me, and more recently after certain real-life events happened. And Gorst is smart enough to actually accept a peace agreement with me in this particular situation, because Gorst is not the problem. And this is my simple offer to Creative Assembly. A military alliance if you stop fucking around and actually understand that trying to control me and trying to make me play your own stupid scripts is a smart fucking idea. It never was, I would add. It never really was. I can play this game around far better and far more casually. Now, if you're thinking for a second that this video was pre-scripted, no. And I literally don't have anything, like I don't have a webcam to show you, but I'm not reading off a script. I don't have anything that I'm tabbing out and reading from. I'm literally just doing this campaign. This is just a campaign. What happened in real life is Handler. Fuck around more, you get to find out. Now, here's how it's gonna go. Greases will obviously need some time in order to accept a military alliance. I'm not particularly inclined to give him that time. So, here's what's gonna happen, boys and girls, if Greases does not accept this. He gets threatened into submission. I'm not gonna do that because it would ruin reputations and all that kind of stuff. But, I am very, very close to doing that. Instead, I offer this. Staff of Volans, decisive victory, close victory, doesn't matter. Through the auto-resolve mod, and then I pay Greases in return with my continued services as a military ally by selling him Grimtop and also giving him that. It was always that goddamn simple to sort this shit out. That's all I have to show for this moment. I think that's enough for the moment. Some people are gonna need some time to process what exactly I just showed in this video, but yeah. I remind you, this was not amateur hour. This was the kind of thing that makes this quest battle of Gotrek and Felix seem like an insignificant twat in comparison. So yeah, I just got Gotrek and Felix on my side. Try and piss that off. You get to find out what Gotrek and Felix really are and really do. Stay tuned for more.